What do you do in our bedroom? Ava saw Sophia, her husband's sister, in the room. She stood on the wardrobe and searched Eva's things. I had nothing for my friend's wedding, so I thought, you and I are the same size. Sophia replied that nothing had happened. It was not embarrassing at all to be caught in a fresh act. What does that mean? You have nothing where you can go in? Your wardrobe is larger than Daniel and I. My friends have already seen it all, and my father doesn't want to give me money for a new dress. He says I crossed my clothes limit for this month. Climber Sophia with her long eyelashes. I only need it for one night. We are like best friends, you and I. I take it from you now, and one day take it you too from me. Ava bites her tongue so as not to answer her sister-in-law too violently. They weren't friends, or rather, they hardly met at all. Sophia was a typical spoiled doll, and Ava was used to getting everything for herself. She bought all of her clothes with the money she earned, while Sophia was used to living off her parents' wealth. Eva worked and tried not to be dependent on her husband. She was older and larger than Sophia, and her sister-in-law's overly flamboyant outfits would not have suited Ava's strict image. So what is that? A nun costume. And what is with this? Don't you have any normal clothes? Where did you get that? On sale? Sophia pulled items out of the closet indiscriminately, examined them, and threw them onto the bed. Look, you're not going to find anything that suits you. They sick. Don't waste sick. There's sick time. Ava mumbled through clenched teeth. She didn't want to argue, but she couldn't stand her husband's behavior anymore. Daniel and I will be moving into our own apartment soon. We just have to be patient. Ava repeated to herself like a mantra. They were temporarily staying with Daniel's family, while the apartment they wanted to move into was being renovated. No, this is a nightmare. Your things just end up in the trash, like they're from your grandma's trunk. It's called vintage now. You're the one who's vintage. You should be in a museum, Sophia giggled. Hey, can I come in? Daniel knocked on the door to his bedroom, unlike his sister. Brother, come in. Do you even realize that your wife dresses like an old lady? I have no problem with it, said Daniel warmly. He loved his wife, but he also loved his little sister. He treated her like a capricious little girl, although Sophia was already 19. What was actually going on here? A fashion show? A wardrobe mapping? I am looking for something suitable for the wedding. You see, I have nothing to wear. Sophia made the sad eyes that acted on men. Look in your wardrobe. There is nothing new. Then go and buy something. Where is the problem? You know that my father has my card, Sophia. He thinks I think too much. Maybe he's right. Daniel smiled. A woman has a right to look good? Yes? Then why should I buckle with my beauty? Didn't you and your father say I only earn the best? Yes, that's right. You deserve the best. So will you help me? How much do you need? Asked Daniel. He noticed his wife's gaze from the corner of his eyes. Ava didn't like her husband spoiling his sister. Ava was a young woman loyal to her principles and did not want to accept expensive gifts from her husband's family in order to not feel obligated. The social inequality between their families was a source of great concern for Ava. She despised the rumors that she had married Daniel for convenience and that she had a financial interest in him. Therefore, she quickly stated that she would not accept gifts from her mother-in-law or father-in-law. The apartment that had just been renovated had been inherited by Ava from her grandmother, and no matter how much Daniel's parents insisted on selling it and investing in a new, larger, and more luxurious apartment, she would not agree. In addition, Ava almost insisted on starting her own company so as not to work for Daniel's father. Let's try, he can still bring you back, he said. The renovation, the investments in the business, and the rejection of his father's help took their toll on Daniel's. He couldn't give his sister as much as he had before. So when she asked for the amount she needed for a new dress, he whistled, and Ava leaned back in her chair with her arms crossed in front of her chest. No, Sophia, when I give you the money, we'll have to eat oatmeal alone. That's nonsense. You eat at home. And if you don't have enough for the rest, all you have to do is ask your father for money. He always gave you more than me. I do not understand your strange desire for independence. Our ancestors took care of everything a long time ago. Why do you have to invent something? Sophia started teaching her brother about life. I can give you 10,000, no more than that. With this money, I can't even buy something in a second-hand shop. Even in an outlet, the prices start at 50,000, and there is an old collection. You will laugh at me. Her brother and sister began to argue, and Ava noticed that she got a headache. Her things had been thrown out of the cupboard like wild, and instead of resting with a book, Ava had to clean. You love Ava more than you love me. Nobody loves me at all. Even my father stopped loving me. I was only pitied by my grandmother, and she is gone. Sophia finally shouted, and the tears ran over her face. She threw another dress on the floor, directly on the dress, ran out of the room, and hit the door. Ava hated such fattening, but as a guest, you couldn't set up your own rules, so she got up quietly and packed her things. Daniel, on the other hand, did not understand his wife's mood. He was amazed. Why do I feel like a tyrant? Asked he. I don't know. The last thing Ava wanted was to become a psychologist for her husband. She wanted him to draw conclusions and realize that Sophia was the only one in the family that had a commercial interest, and that Ava would recommend moving her sister. But Daniel suddenly decided that he had overreacted. I will comfort you. You know she is no longer herself since Grandma died. She only remembers her grandmother if she needs something, said Ava, but she regretted. I'm sorry, honey. I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. No, you don't have to apologize. I know what you mean. But my sister is very fragile, and my father has been very strict with her lately. I think he wants her to be as independent as you are. But you can't just take everything away from a child. Ava wanted to shake her husband and tell him that his sister was no longer a child, that Sophia had already had so many men at 19 that she never dreamed of, and that her sister was only a skillful manipulator. But all of this talk was pointless. You know, I'll go now. I will give her some money. But Daniel, we can't afford that. Yes, we can. I wanted to say for a long time that the idea of owning your own business. Sophia is right. Why invent something when everything has been invented before us? Daniel looked at his wife. He had decided that he just couldn't find the right time to say it. I wouldn't have thought that you would give up so quickly, she said. It was the only thing she could say. Daniel twitched with his shoulders and went out of the room. He had to calm his sister, and that was exactly what Aunt Sophia was waiting. Daniel, say Sophia that she can have my new dress, said Ava sadly. The golden one? Daniel pulled his eyebrows up. He knew that this dress was something special for his wife. She had dreamed of it for a long time and bought it after saving the money. It was the dress she wanted to wear on her wedding day. Are you sure, darling? Yes, I don't care if anyone sees me in after her. But I would appreciate it if she could return it after cleaning. This is, of course, cheaper than buying a new outfit. Daniel picked up the hanger with the dress in his bag and looked lovingly at Ava. Once again, he was convinced that he had taken the perfect woman as his wife. If she's willing to do her best for my sister, then she loves me madly, he decided, and Ava hoped for different conclusions. She thought Daniel, knowing how precious the dress was to her, would put it back in the closet and forget about her sister. But her husband couldn't read minds or decipher hints, so the dress went to Sophia, and she literally kissed her favorite brother and his wife. You're the best. I adore you, she exulted. The dress fit perfectly, even though Sophia was smaller than Ava. Are you really not sorry? Sophia asked again, as if she wanted to provoke him. I am not a popular model, actress, or celebrity who gets rid of her things after a public appearance, so I'll just let you wear it temporarily. But Ava was a little too optimistic. The dress turned out to be so delicate that it did not survive the wedding. Sophia spilled a drink on herself, leaving a stain on the fabric. Perhaps dry cleaning could have removed the stain, but when Sophia jumped for the bride's bouquet, her heel caught on the hem, leaving several ugly wrinkles and a small hole in the feather of the dress. But the most unpleasant thing happened the next morning. Sophia, can you please tell me when I can pick up my dress from the dry cleaners? Ava asked a few days later. She realized that her sister-in-law was in no hurry to return the dress. Which dress? Sophia asked herself. Mine, the one you borrowed for the evening a week ago. I didn't have it dry cleaned. Then just give it to me. I'll clean it myself, Ava insisted. I'm afraid this won't work. Why not? It went where it belonged, in the bin. Ava couldn't find the right words. She looked at Sophia silently, trying to figure out if she was joking or serious. Why didn't you tell me? Who asked you to throw it away? We had a deal. Because you don't need such a terrible dress. It's time to buy the expensive stuff. The people who find it in the dump should wear it. Everyone decides what and who you wear. Avia suddenly realized that she would never see her favorite dress again. She felt so hurt that she cried. Sophia saw tears on the face of her daughter-in-law for the first time. Sometimes Sophia felt that Ava didn't know how to cry because her brother's wife was always under control. Ava, don't get upset. I didn't know that this dress was so important to you. You wouldn't understand that. Because you are used to everything, said Ava, leaving her sister-in-law's room. The wedding day was not far away. She and her husband wanted to celebrate with her family at home, but her mother-in-law insisted on a restaurant. Ava's parents also preferred a restaurant, so she agreed. To make all of this possible, this wonderful outfit was bought. Ava liked the golden, flowing dress at first glance that emphasized all the charms of her figure. It would take a long time before she could save for a second dress, and so Ava was in a desperate situation. She decided that the anniversary celebration should be canceled. Canceled? Daniel was amazed. What's wrong with you, treasure? Our engagement was a mistake. It needs to be ended. We come from different backgrounds. You need a woman who is suitable for you, not this merchant woman. Ava recalled the words of one of Daniel's friends. With bitterness, she realized that the jealous person was right to some extent. I don't want to embarrass and humiliate you. Nonsense, my darling. Just relax. Everything will be fine. I love you, and take these words out of your head, she said out of despair because she thought I would marry her. But I chose you. He calmed down his wife and promised that he would try to find the dress with a conversation with his sister. Ava stopped crying and trusted her husband. She didn't want to ask her brother's sister for a dress, and it was unlikely that something would fit her. But the closer the anniversary, the more she doubted this idea. The selected restaurant was very pompous, and Ava didn't have a single suitable dress. But it was too late to cancel. So she put on a simple black dress and noticed when she looked at herself in the mirror that Sophia was right. Like something from my grandmother's chest, mothballs, scrap, and I'm the same. Ava took off the brooch with which she wanted to save the picture and let herself sink into the chair. The evening was ruined from the start. Daniel came home an hour later and found his wife crying. He was wearing an expensive suit and looked like a painting. Ava realized that there was too much trust between them. She would look silly and ridiculous next to him. Ava, darling, what's wrong with you? It's nothing, Daniel. I just need some time alone. Please don't go anywhere. I'm sorry, but I need to think. I think you're overreacting. We can't bail on our own wedding day. It's not just our celebration. It's an important moment for our entire family. My family loves you. You're just not used to being in the spotlight. I don't think we're the best match. The unequal marriage was a mistake, she started. I think you react. We are the best couple, if only because I love you so much. Daniel left the room, but immediately came back with a large bouquet of flowers and a box. In it, Ava found a new dress that was even more beautiful than the last. It is adorned. She breathed out and did not dare to imagine how much Daniel had paid for the dress. Try it on. I'm afraid to hold it in my hands. I'm afraid that I will ruin it, my stupid girl. Don't attach great importance to simple things. You are the most valuable thing there is, and I don't save anything for you. Ava smiled. She displaced the thought that she couldn't afford the dress. She wanted to be irresistible that evening, so she was wearing her husband's gift. The dress was perfect. The guests noticed that Ava flourished next to Daniel. Nobody thought it was an unequal marriage because the woman looked brilliant. The expensive diamond got an expensive version and everything matched. That evening, Ava realized that things do not make a person nice, but it is important to adapt and not to start the bar too low and pull down the spouse. Daniel also became clear with the dress after the incident. He realized that Sophia had gone too far by showing herself as an irresponsible virgin. Since then, he has no longer stood on her side in disputes, and even supported her father's idea of moving around. Therefore, Sophia came for the wedding day in a suit that she was wearing for the second time. By the way, nobody noticed that because everyone looked at the happy spouses.